Yo, hello everyone. Can everyone hear me? And can everyone see the Bitcoin chart now? Nice little intro, you know. It's just something I made. It's a little easier to get some people in, so we can start the stream like 10 minutes earlier and then start it at the right time, you know. But anyways, how's everyone doing? Everyone holding up well? Seems like Bitcoin wanted lower after all. And seems like I should have followed my plan. But anyways, I still think we're close to bottoming and close to a rally to 99k. So so yeah, we'll give our plans, our reasonings, why I closed shorts from up here, why I flipped long, and what my plan is if I get stopped out, obviously, because I didn't expect a rejection like the one we're seeing right now. We have a 4-hour close in an hour, so let's see how that one does, you know. Classic Bitcoin, it could be some fuckery where we just sweep these lows again and then see a pump again, or we don't even sweep these, or we go for last week's low and then back up. Anything can happen, you know. The worst thing you can do in situations like this is start doubting yourself and start flip-flopping in between long short. Well, I also closed my shorts and went long, obviously, but it's more on a longer time scale, you know. I'm talking about within the same hour or within the same day. For me, I had a clean plan after a sweep of the highs, targeted some lows, and that played out nicely. And now I combined it with the Monday range, of course, and that's the reason why I closed shorts. But we'll go in depth in a second. So yeah, we'll go as always. Start off with Bitcoin. We have a lot to talk about. Solana is pretty much dying. Not sure if that's a bad thing or a good thing, you know. Could be a good thing as well. Yeah, all these meme coins, the meme coin drama. We had this Argentina drama and all that stuff. Maybe some liquidity now flows into Ethereum, you know, maybe into Bitcoin. We'll see. So yeah, a lot to talk about. So we'll cover those as well, and then if we have some time left, we'll do some requests as well. If you have any questions about anything that I'm explaining, feel free to ask in the chat. And yeah, we'll do Litecoin as well. That's a good one. I was actually looking for entries on Litecoin the entire morning. Where was it? Below this ugly 4-hour bottom, I had limits there, and it would have been a lower time frame play. You see this hourly? On this hourly, I had limits down here with a very close stop below the low, and I was targeting these highs, but unfortunately went off without me, because that would have been a good play as well. But yeah, already played out now. Anyways, we're starting off with Bitcoin, but before we get into the charts, quick shout out to the sponsor of the live streams, which is Blowfin. You can make your account there. If you do so, you can get access to my Discord server where I post all of my trades live as well, and post more analysis, more low time frame thoughts, more videos, and all that stuff. Use an account. Use the link in the description to make an account and make a deposit. And if you did so, send me a message on Discord and I'll get you added to the group. Okay, so big thanks to Blowfin. Then please leave a like on the live stream. That helps me a lot to grow on YouTube, and that's my goal for now with these live streams. I want to get to 10,000 subscribers by giving you guys the best content I can. So leave a like. We have around 100 people watching. That's awesome. Let's get to 50 likes at least. And subscribe, obviously, if you haven't already, so you get notified when I go live. And yeah, with that being said, let's dive into the charts. So, Bitcoin, as usual, let's start talking about the trades that we did rather than immediately looking at plans for the future, you know. So I drew my charts on the USDT perps on Bybit because we have a little difference on the charts, and the USD perp shows this wick to the downside, while most other charts, I actually haven't looked at Binance or see, none of these charts. BitGet also not. See, so only on Bybit the USD perps got this wick to the downside here. It was an ugly 1 minute wick, as you can see right here. But yeah, it kind of ruined the chart. And I always like to take the charts that's lining up the most on every exchange. So let's continue with this one for now. Could that be what's coming? I mean, obviously, but we're not gonna focus too much on this wick, okay? We're just gonna use just this chart. So just assume that the wick is not there, okay? So let me remove last week's high and last week's low from last stream, right? We had this range right here. We traded longs from where? Good question. I think from this week or from here, but with wide stops below here. We traded it long, right? Closed up here, then relonged this dip, and then close. Yeah, always, as you guys know, I like taking profits on the way up and on the way down, so I always will take some off on the way up, but ultimately closed on the sweep some as well. And then I saw the snapback, and then I fully closed my longs and I actually went short. So let me give my reasoning for that. So honestly, in situations like this where we're trading in a range, all that matters are key highs and key lows and where the most amount of liquidity is resting. And that's going to be your draw on price, okay? I've been using this method to trade ranges for ages, and it just works, you know? Your draw will always be towards the side with the most liquidity, and that's going to be above key highs and below key lows areas, untapped supply and demand areas, okay? So what did I see here? Initially we took the lows, right? So where was liquidity resting? Back to the highs. But then we took the highs into resistance, right? And yeah, you know, the general sentiment was very bullish again. Everyone was targeting higher, while we were just trading within the same range and we got rejected pretty ugly. Like if you see something like this, a pump, right, above a high, you just want to see continuation. And if you don't see continuation and you do a retest, well, you want to see continuation after that, or at least some ranging more up here and then grinding higher and accelerating. Didn't happen. What you don't want to see is some ugly closes back inside the range and acceptance back below those highs that got swept. So that, not only that high, but also this one, right? And I saw that we snapped back down. That's when I fully closed the longs from down here, and actually flipped short. The short setup was something like, yeah, short here, and then the stop was above this range mean, right? Daily range mean. you know, I'm not going over. We'll maybe do the higher time frames after this, but just want to go over the trades from last week. Anyways, this is still your key pivot, right? Key resistance. Also, we didn't quite make it towards that mid-range, but if you just take the general area around that mid-range, right, you had a sweep of liquidity of key highs into that resistance area, right? Ugly rejection, well, that gave me enough to have my reasons to look for shorts. Okay, so kept my stops there, and then obviously we started dumping. Maybe I should have held. Anyways, what was my plan? What were my targets? Initially first target down there, second down there, third down here, and then a little bit below there. This one got hit initially, right? We swept the lows, and what did we see then? Spike to the upside, right into resistance. So I closed some down here, added back up here. It's all live on Twitter, right? Why? Because this was just a sweep of some local highs into supply, into resistance, with a great risk reward and clean lows, this one and this one, still resting below us, right? So high probability shorts. By the way, could this be the same? Exactly. So gotta be careful. But anyways, and we dumped after, right? Quite front run our second target. But I wasn't concerned. Why? Because yeah, the 12-hour had a flat bottom, the 4-hour as well. Where was it? Can you see it now? Yeah, I think it was this one, right? That it just didn't look like a bottom, so I wasn't too concerned that the low was gonna be in. Equal lows as well, right? So just kept shorts. And then today we finally saw the sweep of this low, right? And saw a pretty good reaction initially. So a strong 4-hour close, acceptance back within the range. And more importantly, what I focused on as well, let's remove some of these levels. Oops. More importantly, our Monday range, Monday low, and Monday high. Right, so Monday low got swept, liquidity down here got swept, and we saw a good reaction. So that was enough for me to close my shorts and to start looking for longs. Okay, initially I said I would wait for with longs, but then I decided to pull the trigger anyways. So I am currently in longs with my stop below this low. Okay, why below there? Because as usual, I don't like tight stops, because Bitcoin tends to go for multiple sweeps at once before ultimately ripping in the right direction. So that's why I kept my stop there. It's still dangerous because, like I said, and as I have been saying, I feel like there's still gonna be a lot of liquidity resting below this low. Okay, so yeah, it's a difficult one. I'm actually placing my stop at an area where I was targeting for my shorts. So is it possible that we do this and then run it back? Of course. But I accept that, right? And I know if price is to dump below Monday low and we do get a stop out, right, I will be able to risk again on a similar setup and take basically the same trade ID, but from here and with a stop there, and then exactly the same target. Okay, so my risk is managed, and I know that I can very well be wrong here, and then retry to long again. So couple plans for me now, right? Ideal scenario for me, and for everyone, I think. Well, I'm not sure. Is that Monday low holds, right? We just saw an ugly sweep here, but hopefully we put in a higher low here, start grinding a bit, right? Maybe see another wick to the downside, but hopefully that gets bought up, reclaim Monday low. As long as we hold above Monday low, right, the next target is gonna be Monday high. Luckily, we front ran Monday high on this wick. Otherwise, if we would have taken this, it would have looked a lot uglier. Actually, then I would have probably already closed my longs, because then there would no longer be a draw to the upside on the lower time frames. Anyways, we didn't. So now still clean highs to the upside. So I think any downside will be short-lived. Of course, can take this low as well. But if we do so, right, that's just more liquidity on Monday high and this high right here, along with this inefficient downside movement. And what I mean with that is, yeah, just like a curved move to the downside. And what you have often get then is you have highs, right, lower highs, I mean, all after each other without sweeping liquidity to the upside, right? And what you often get then is acceleration, a sweep of a kilo, and then running it back and taking all of the stops that are resting above here all in one go. So could be the same here. So my plan for now is just hold this. If I get stopped, look to long again. If I get stopped out again, right, so we break below here, then it's just a waiting game for me. At that point, right, we trade below the range that we've been trading in for the past months. So that wouldn't be a good sign. But what could that mean? Yeah, for trading at least, right? I would be holding off for spots. That could be a great time to buy if that happens. For now, I don't think that will happen. But anyways, gotta be ready for everything. If we break below here, as for trading, I will be waiting with longs until I see strength back inside the range, right? And then I'll be looking for longs again, or I will wait for a lot lower before I start looking for swing longs again, okay? So that's my plan for that. If we see upside from here, that would be, yeah, the kind of the preferred plan, right? If we see upside from here, wait out reaction at Monday high. If we sweep and break back below, likely get out, take our profits and stay flat. If not, and we keep pumping, we accept above Monday high, right? Retest holds, we start ranging here a bit, maybe. Likely we see higher, and at that point, the next draw would be on the 99k area, 99 to 100 even, above here as well. So still the key areas of liquidity, right? Not talking about hourlies now, but let's say 4 hour liquidity areas are still, in my opinion, below 94 and above 99, above or around 99. Okay, so your highest probability trades will always come from these areas. Okay, so that's also why my plan is, if I get stopped here, right, and we do this, I will likely put some more risk behind this trade, right, than I would in the middle of this range. It's nice playing these moves as well, but the highest probability plays are always going to be those at the extremes. So up here, so down here or up here. Okay, so if we do move, that's the next point then. If we do move to the upside from here and we take 99 to 100k, I'd be more cautious for a move back to the downside, because we haven't taken liquidity below 94. While if we just nuke from here and get it over with, then we could see a real pump above here, maybe even acceptance above here, and a pump to new all-time highs. Okay, is that clear for everyone? Any questions? How many trades do you take on average during 1 week? I couldn't tell you that, man. Maybe like 3, not even 2, I think. No idea. Whenever the trade presents itself, I will take it. If I don't see a trade in weeks, I will not take a trade for weeks. And if there's 5 setting up in a week, I will take them. From your experience, does the amount of time we spend below high time frame mid-range increase the odds of breaking down to range lows? Lower below high time frame mid-range, higher odds of visiting high time frame range lows. To range lows, probably yes. Breaking down from the range, probably no. But yeah, if you break below range mean, it's more likely that you're gonna see range lows. But we already saw that, right? So on this move, we broke below, straight to range lows. So this is a different scenario, right? We already did the move. So that's why I think we don't need to revisit this. And this is just trapping you into shorting, into shaking you out before ultimately running it back up to at least 100k. I said it before, right? Even if we are to break down to new local lows, so below 90k, it's in my opinion more likely that we do this and then break down, or sweep the lows once more here, then see this and then break down. And that's also the reason why I just gave you the plans on the lower time frames, right? Those are the moves that I'm trying to play, you know. And that's also the reason why you need to be more cautious if we move higher from here. Maybe it's just the best thing to just get it over with, take 94s, a final mini cascade, I'll call it, because it won't be something like this, but it will still liquidate a lot and then run it back to the highs. Maybe, who knows? Do you still hold ETH spot? Yes, sir. How do you find these different ranges? I have a video about that on my Twitter. It's my pinned post on Twitter. Do you use 49-inch screen? I have no idea. How do you transition between ranges, and how do you determine what is the range low and range high after range has developed? Well, exactly the same answer. I have a complete video that goes in depth about ranges and all of the things I use, and it's on YouTube, but it's also pinned on my Twitter, the first post you will see. Do you use volume profiles? Nope. FTX ETH, will it cause a dump? I have no idea, man. No one knows what's going to happen next, otherwise it would be easy, you know. You just enter after sweep of ranges or wait for low time frame market structure shift. Usually I just enter because, you know, I always look for sweeps into key areas, and when I see a good sweep, you know, the definition of that sweep is that price will move away from that area quickly and there will be a reaction. So waiting for confirmation can very often give you yeah, just a worse entry and worse risk to reward, and invalidate the trade. Well, not invalidated, but not worth it anymore. So right, let's do ETH let's do Litecoin actually. Nah, let's do Ethereum first. Basically nothing changed for Ethereum as well. I still like it on the higher time frames. We swept key liquidity, aggressive sweep, just like Bitcoin. You know, the high time frames aren't looking too bad. Well, Ethereum hasn't moved at all. Okay, I get that, but for Bitcoin, you should assume that this range is the same as this one and that we break to the upside, okay? If we assume that the bull market is gonna last until the end of this year, we still have a lot of time, okay? And just 2 months or just 1 month, just a couple weeks can already give you an increase like to 130 to 140k and leave everyone behind. Look at what we did here, you know, and here as well. You see, once it gets going, it just goes, okay? So don't bother getting chopped up in the range if you suck at it, you know. If you have no business trading this, or you don't like it, or you are only losing your money, reduce your risk, I would say. Use wide stops and set a limit on the amount of trades you take. That's the first thing I would do in a range like this. Okay? So just play with a little amount of money in case you lose it all, right? You still have a bigger stack. But what was I saying? We should assume, right, that this range leads to another pump to new highs, right? And the same goes for Ethereum, right? The high time frames don't look that bad. We haven't done anything in the last 2 weeks after that dump here, which swept high time frame key liquidity, right? And after that, what did we do? We just set up a range again, daily, right? So these two levels are just last week's high. Let's mark them out. Last week's high and last week's low, right? Yesterday we got a little pop, but all we did was sweep last week's high. Yeah, Ethereum is looking bad, to be honest. Ethereum is looking bad at the moment. On the low time frame I'm talking, because I just said it still looks good on the high time frame, but low time frame is cooked, I think. Anyways, last week's high swept, last week's low unswept. What does that mean? Liquidity resting below last week's low. So, in my opinion, next target, last week's low. Look for the sweep, right? The deviation, whatever you want to call it. Look for the reclaim, boom, and then trade it back up into $3,000 area, in my opinion. Okay? That's how I'm planning to play Ethereum. So I haven't traded it for a while, but this could be a really nice setup if you get it. And it would line up with Bitcoin, you know, would line up with Bitcoin going for sub 94k, send Ethereum to sub 2.5, well, sub 2.6 to 550, somewhere there, right? Take those lows, reclaim, and then send it higher. That would be a nice play for Ethereum, in my opinion. Higher from here, right? I think we just get rejected at range high and still go for it. Anyways, if we reclaim this, probably see 3k again. But again, at that point, I'd be cautious for a snapback down and ultimately a move a lot lower after that. Nice drawing. Right? Then Litecoin, one I really liked. and I talked about it after it swept this high time frame liquidity. Now it broke back above range mean. So this is, in my opinion, one of the best looking charts at the moment. Litecoin saw strength this morning as well, but yeah, now that Bitcoin is dumping a little again, this one's rejecting a bit as well. But anyways, high time frame draw, right? We swept the lows aggressively, highs here, here, and here, unswept. No, sorry, this one did get swept, but this one and this one are unswept. So next draw is definitely towards this range high. Now we'll have to see if it's a sweep, a rejection, right? Then we could be in for more ranging. If we break above, stay above, maybe some ranging, but then likely we see continuation towards 180, which is this weekly range mean. Above there, we can start talking about $250, which is this weekly range high, and which lines up with supply from up here from back in 2021, right? Low time frames. So as I said, I was looking for longs this morning, but was just for a low time frame setup, which played out already. Never got my entry. For now, right, I would have liked it more if it would have swept this low, this right here. So I could still, right, we just swept some highs here, here, here. So what if we do this, take that out into range mean, right, and we then see strength? That would, in my opinion, be the better play. And at that point, we might be targeting this range high. Where's your revalidation then? Because if things are about to wick lower, right, Ethereum and Bitcoin sub 94 and Ethereum below this last week's low, where is that gonna put Litecoin? That's the question, you know. It could also, in my opinion, wick below here, because that's a clean wick as well, and more importantly with clean resting demand under it. Sideways price action that led to all of this, while below this low you have less of that. Okay, you only have this, you kind of have nothing. So for Litecoin, if you get a sweep of this, right, an aggressive wick, boom, and then a good buyback, yeah, then I think we're on our way to range highs. Let's see, wait. Where's that wick? Yeah, it's mixed feeling, you know, because if we do wick this low, that would also mean that we break below range mean, you know. So ideally, short-lived, brutal wick and a quick reclaim above here. That would be the best. But I'm not sure we're gonna get it. I think we could also be in for something like this. Anyways, like I said, I'm just in Bitcoin longs at the moment, but I was looking at some altcoins as well to get into longs that are holding up strong. I think if Bitcoin sweeps that lower liquidity, you get into alts as well. And Litecoin will be my top pick for that. Let's talk about Trump coin as well, right? We shorted it here. I've been saying it in the Discord, like this Trump coin and Melania coin are only good for one thing, and that's for shorting. In my opinion, I see no reason why they would keep going up. Of course, in these hot times when all meme coins kept going up, yeah, then sure, but in a market like this, they're just good for shorting. And that's what I did, right? I was looking for a sweep of a high to get short, but unfortunately I got it when I wasn't home, so I wasn't able to short it here. Otherwise I 100% would have done it. up there. But anyways, got back right here. So immediately shorted it. Invalidation above range highs and above the sweep. Target range lows here and then new lows. This target is just for illustration purposes, you know. It's not, I don't, that number doesn't mean anything to me. I closed half of this already because we are at range lows, and from here this would be the last support I see that can lead to a bounce. So that's why I closed half. If we break below here, yeah, then I think we bleed a lot lower. Okay. So yeah, nothing much more to say about this, rather than that I'm just holding this half risk short. Yeah, Melania is sort of the same, but I fully closed this one. Oh, it's at new lows now. Nice. Right before I closed it this morning with Bitcoin, because it was looking better and stronger as this Trump coin, but now it's exactly the other way around. But anyways, that's fine, you know. I just wouldn't bother with these stupid coins unless you see a clean short setup. If it does something like this, right, spike all of these highs, yeah, just get short and target two lows, right? Just be careful. I put that in a tweet as well, where I said they tend to bleed very slow and just keep going lower, and then all at once erase all of that downside in just one squeeze higher, one squeeze to the upsides. So just be careful that you don't get caught off guard, like for example this, right? You keep bleeding, and then boom, you see? And those are usually good short entries. But yeah, who knows, if Bitcoin is on its way for another leg to the upside and breaks to the upside, like everything will pump probably. So yeah, just be careful for that. But as long as Bitcoin is down here and is just ranging, I think those coins are for shorting. Solana maybe. So yeah, like I said, the weak one, after all the drama, and that meme coins are not performing well anymore as well. I have to say I like the level it's coming into. We swept key liquidity, this low right here, into high time frame demand. Just general area down here. So would I look for longs? Probably not. This would setup like this would be more of a spot play for me. So if you have fiat, it makes sense to buy some spot Solana, in my opinion. If Bitcoin has another move to the upside, like Solana will more than likely at least see a bounce as well. And if you take a look from here back to range highs, is already 60%, you know. So for longs, for now, not worth it for me. But for spot, I would say this is a great area to start looking for buys. Let's see, low time frame. Yeah, daily is looking a bit weak, right? But if it catches a bid and it closes green, maybe with Bitcoin, who knows, right? But yeah, low time frame. Don't step in front of a moving train, you know. Let it do its thing. There's no reason for you to be aggressively looking for longs here. Right, let's read the chat for a second. By the way, guys, leave a like if you enjoy the content. That helps me a lot. And subscribe to my YouTube. We're trying to hit 10k subs. Let's see. Does the market seem to change over time? Yeah, hell yeah. It changed drastically over the years. Just the concepts and the way it trades, you know, it's normal with a market like cryptocurrencies that's so young, you know. At the start, you used to have a lot more wicks, and every wick, every SFP was tradable. It was like 90% of the SFPs you could just trade it, like a bearish SFP, you short it, profit. Bullish SFP, you long it, profit. It was good times, you know. So it became a lot more difficult, because yeah, it also starts trading much more like traditional markets, and we obviously have a lot more participants in the market as well. So, but yes, the market, the way of trading definitely changes. What do you think about the reverse alt season theory? When alts dump, ETH dumps is a foreshadowing of Bitcoin's future dump? I don't get the question, man. I'm sorry. Do you follow SPX and the dollar for Bitcoin price action? Not really, actually. If Bitcoin looks good, I'll trade Bitcoin. If it looks bad, you know, I just focus on Bitcoin. Yeah, hype was funny. What was that this morning? So weak. Yeah, someone in Discord asked about hype as well, and I gave him this, and I said I honestly wouldn't bother looking at this until we sweep these lows. Then it would look good to me, or you know, like something like this, and then a longer period of accumulation, maybe another aggressive sweep there, and then look to play it back to the highs. But for now, looks cooked, man. What tool has the saved line text labels? You just do this and then template, save as. Can you check your Discord DMs? I will after the stream. What about Kai? You still holding? I'm still holding all the memes that I said I bought. Bird as well. But yeah, it's normal in market conditions like this. Like you see this, everything's down, you know. Then people are like, "Ooh, why is it dumping?" Yeah, the whole market is dumping. Memes have always been something to play around with, and you had to be careful with them. I got fucked as well with memes in some way, you know. I also kept trying. And after all, lost money with it. But luckily we make it back trading Bitcoin. Can you show a preview of the Discord? It's nothing too special, man. Synth targets. Let's see how it looks. See, it still looks decent, you know. I like this chart because of the way it looks into being into accumulation, right? The launch, and then obviously, as usual, a lot of downside, and then started ranging, right? Range lows. Yeah, you could take whatever, you know. It's more about the structure than the actual level, right? But then aggressive sweep, reclaim, retest, and just ranging here again. What's the next draw, you think, to the upside? So that's why I've been posting about this. Yeah, I like it. Still like it. First target up here, and after that, first resistance here. If we reclaim that, could go a lot higher. What are our candidates for the last 10% of the bull market after ETH pumped and rotation into small caps starts? Oof, I couldn't tell you that. As I've always said, I just hold Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana at this moment, and some doggy. Apart from that, for altcoins, I'm just looking to trade them. And when everything breaks out, I'll just aggressively look for longs and try to compound them as much as possible. What are your expectations for altcoins if Bitcoin first goes to 80k before new all-time high? Because recently when Bitcoin drops, Bitcoin dominance follows. If Bitcoin goes to 80k, man, your alts are gonna be dead. What do you want me to say? I've been saying it for months. Holding alts is a meme. Why would you keep holding an alt that's just bleeding lower and lower and lower, just hoping for it to pump and make you rich? You need to see, even if you buy something like for spot, you need to have a plan, you know? Like, either you put in money and you have your invalidation is 0, and in that case you shouldn't be worried if it drops 90%. Well, if it drops 90%, maybe you should, but I mean if it drops 50%, and also not if it goes to 0, but because that was part of your plan, you know. Or you put in some more, right? And you have an invalidation. But why would you put so much money into altcoins that you cannot afford to lose just because you think they're gonna make you rich when they're just bleeding lower and lower and lower? That doesn't make sense to me. Do you use other tools like footprints? No, not really. Just pure price action. Any stock trading? Nope. Where can we learn more about ranges? Well, I have my video that I talked about at the start. It's on my Twitter page, the pinned post. And apart from that, I learned a lot from Trader SZ, for example. Also from Crypto Trooper, but he's not around anymore. So yeah. Gold's been on a run. That's a good sign. Because Bitcoin tends to follow gold, and there's a lag between the two of like a couple months. So this is a really good thing. Hopefully that lines up with our thoughts about Bitcoin, right? Maybe some more ranging. Well, more than likely more ranging, but I mean weeks, months, we don't know. But then ultimately the most important thing is that this range breaks out to the upside. S&P at all-time highs as well. Bitcoin at the lows. Sad story. Yeah, let's see, guys. Not sure if I want to hold this long actually. It looks really bad on the lower time frames now. I honestly think that we're gonna see lower, that we're going for last week's low. Especially because of this lower time frame sweep. Let's see, maybe we bounce here at Monday low to something like this, and then I'll likely get out if I can around here. But looks like it wants to nuke from here. Gold going for all-time high again, so I think gold needs to pull back and consolidate for Bitcoin to run. Why? When did you go full-time trading, at what capital and what consistency? Because I see you're UTC +1, so you're also from Europe and maybe German too. I'm from Belgium, man. I went full-time, I'm not sure what year. I started in 2017, but then I was still studying. And then I dropped out of school. And at first I did half-time trading and half-time working in a restaurant to have some fixed income, you know. And then when I realized I could do it full-time, I just quit the restaurant job, and ever since I've been trading full-time. When was it? I don't remember. Must have been like 2019, 2020, something like that. Lekker Engels voor een Belg, goed uit Nederland. Thanks, man. BNB to be listed in Hong Kong. How much money did you have? That doesn't matter, right? But yeah, my thoughts are, if you want to go full-time, think about it twice, man. Especially in times like these. Like back then it was easier, you know? And still, I wouldn't quit your job until you have like a decent stack of money, like for you to be able to live like 5 years without having to need any income, you know. Maybe not 5, maybe 2, but at least that. You see, this low time frame plan is playing out nicely. This. It's classic, you know. You draw your plan, you say you're getting out, and then whenever price is here, you're gonna think like, maybe it was just a Monday low retest and we're going higher. Right? You get the feeling, probably. It's not easy, man. Never will be. But I probably will. The reaction was too weak for me to hold on to this. And I just want to see some price action, because from here, right, either we're gonna do this and then go lower, or we're gonna do this, and then, in my opinion, stay here for a while, right? I don't think that we'll do this. That's unlikely now, right? If we wanted to do that, I think we should have done it from here. So that gives me a clean plan, you know? If we do this, right, I'll get out and I'll just wait. If price nukes, well then happy days, I get a better entry on my longs. If we don't and we keep ranging here, maybe we put in another low at Monday low, then we know there's gonna be local liquidity resting below the lows. We look for a sweep there and then we can get long, right? Or still wait for a sweep below here. Ik kom van Brussel, onder Brussel. Litecoin is so bullish, whole market crashing, but this one is hovering above support. Yeah, we need to keep an eye on Litecoin. 4 hour is not looking too good. Oh yeah, it's the close in 2 minutes. Let's see the close. Because we might have some. That's not good for Bitcoin though. That's an ugly 4 hour close for Bitcoin. But not too bad. I think it's one of those classic ugly looking 4 hour candles that resolves into some upside first. Close probably down from the open of the candle. But then I think sweep and go at least back to my entry, maybe towards here somewhere, maybe even to Monday high. I don't know. Let's see. But I'm holding longs for now. It's also it also could be classic ugly price action around Monday low before the move to Monday high. We've seen that a lot as well. So Monday low set, then you got the sweep, and then you think it's gonna be bullish, and then it rejects, and then everyone's like, failed again. And then it comes into Monday low, everyone thinks it's breaking lower, but then it just bounces, it holds, it does some ugly shit, and then after all, it pumps to Monday high. Where is the scenario where we nuke straight to mid-80s? Well, I talked about it, no? Sure, if we do that right now, I'll get stopped out of this. I will try again to long sub here. I will get stopped out of that, and then it can do whatever it wants and nuke straight to 80k. But 80k, there's nothing at 80k though. So why would you target 80k? Then I target like 70k at least. But I don't think that's happening. I think if we go below this low again, that it will be short-lived. A wick and then up. But I'm not sure we need it. We've had cascades. We saw this. Back to the highs distribution, but then we saw capitulation here. Yeah, maybe we do need another one. When you say you'll get stopped out, are you risking 1 hour on each of those trades? Yes. My risk at the moment is a little different on every trade. But that's the idea. I will probably risk some more on the long below last week's low, because I don't think we break out from here, as I said before, you know. I think if we are to break down, that we first need liquidity higher and then break down. And if we go from here, that dips below last week's low are gonna get bought aggressively. So let's see, down from the open, like we said. Now, ideally, you nuke it more straight from the open and leave no wick to the upside, but doesn't seem like it's gonna do that. Nope, already creating the upside wick as well. But yeah, not necessarily a bad thing. Guys, leave a like if you haven't already. We're almost at 50 likes. Let's get them to 50, 60 maybe, at least. No worries. Adam. Thinking about short at 96.75. 96. Yeah, somewhere here. Yeah, maybe. For me, that's too low time frame. You probably mean something like this then. But for me, that's a little too low time frame to trade. But yeah, go for it. Like, for me to short down here, it doesn't make sense, because the first thing is, right, we're trading quite low in this range. We're trading below range mean, right? And shorting below range mean is always risky, you know. I like shorting a sweep of range high. I don't like shorting into range lows. So that's on its own. And then secondly, well, we've dumped the last couple of, yeah, the last couple of 4-hour candles, I'll say it like that, we have dumped. So where does that give you an invalidation, right? At this moment, I wouldn't feel comfortable with a stop, obviously above Monday high, but also not above this liquidity and also not above last week's high. And then another thing you need to ask yourself is, where is your target? If your target is here, yeah, then where does your stop need to be to have a decent risk reward that's like above this week? So yeah, for me, that doesn't make sense, but very low time frame, I mean, your trade does make sense, something like this. But personally, not taking that. Upload some educational videos, seen your range video and loved it. That's good to hear. Yeah, I've been thinking about it, but the thing is, I covered basically everything that I use on the charts in that video, so what else can I talk about? Okay, so you see, we do have a wick to the upside, but barely, you know? Well, it's a small 4-hour wick. So what we now ideally do is we dump to Monday low, maybe sweep this and then rip higher. Or from here, I mean, we already have a bigger wick to the downside than to the upside, but maybe to here. Or even wick below here. Let's see. What's your opinion on Alice? I see him getting hate sometimes, but he's very on point. Yeah, I like him. I'm friends with him. He's a very good analyst, like you said. He's been spot on many times. Overall, we've been doing very good in this range, though. I'm excited for the coming weeks to months. I really like trading this. And it's also that I've been focused too much on purely getting into longs, because yeah, obviously everyone thought that this bull market would be like the last ones, and it's completely different. Back then everything used to pump, you know, and you just needed to look for longs, and so that's exactly what I did, and I got stuck in that mindset for too long, while this cycle is more like, especially on alts, but Bitcoin as well, you know. Now it's pump, big range, long range, and then pump for like 2 weeks, and then a long ass ranging time again. And even then, on Bitcoin, I was stuck into the mindset of just thinking about longs, and now recently already a couple months ago, but I started trading both ways again and thinking upside, downside, and that has paid off a lot. So excited for the future, you know, to nail all of these low time frame moves with you guys, hopefully, and we run up our account and make some money together. Are you still holding Bitcoin longs? Yes. I learned your strategy in mid to end 23. Range trading works well with the fixed range volume profile and naked point of control. Have you studied that confluence, getting good results? Not really, no. I've been focusing mostly on, mostly everything on price action. And share your playlist. The playlist is, it's anim lo-fi. Just type lo-fi anim on YouTube and you will find it. Do you open paid groups? Nope. I do have a group, a private group I'll call it, but you can join for free if you just make an account under one of my ref links. You still use CMM? Yes. Do you ever trade based on diagonal trend lines or only horizontals? Nope, only horizontals. Like sometimes I'll draw one, but it's mostly to give myself a reason, you know, to give myself an extra reason to open a trade or to feel more confident, you know. But I don't really trust diagonal lines too much. How much exposure do you have in the market? You mean like compared to net worth, or what do you mean? How do you feel about 93.7 then up? I feel very good about that and see that as a very likely scenario. That was my short target from up here, this area, and still the area that I think has the most liquidity, so very good. I still remember your short from a couple of months ago, around 106k, then Bitcoin dumped to, I think, after Powell's speech dump. That was absolutely coded. Thanks, man. Your stables in portfolio. Well, currently I'm like 80-90% exposed of everything I have on exchanges and in wallets, and yeah, I'm betting on, like, I do, that is only a portion of my net worth, you know. I've always been the kind of guy who cashes out a lot if I have a lot of profits, so yeah, I'm not gonna be the one that makes the most in bull markets because I don't risk it all, but I am gonna be the one, I think, that is gonna keep the most. So because of that reason, I currently have a lot that's outside of crypto already, and that also means that the part that is in crypto, I need to be exposed, you know. So I'm gonna be more aggressive with my portfolio. I'll say it like that. I already took out what I put in before Trump got elected, when I played it from 60-70k to 100k. So the rest I'm just gonna leave in Bitcoin and Ethereum and Sol, you know. Are we not in a long? Yes, we are. Yeah, it might sound crazy, you know. I'm in a long, and I'm literally saying that I see my stop loss getting hit as a likely scenario. I don't think a lot of people gonna say that, but that's the first step to profitability, you know, accepting that you are wrong. I entered this trade and I'm 100% comfortable with losing. I don't care, you know. Then use SL as entry. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm gonna do. But I could see prices go higher from here as well, so decided to bet on it already. We're all addicted, you know, all addicted gamblers. Just found you on Twitter and appreciate the honest and helping content. Started like 3 years ago and still not profitable. Keep going, man. Write everything down, all of your trades, things you can improve, things you did wrong. Keep learning from your mistakes. Trade with less. Don't risk it all. Don't use demo accounts, but trade with very little amount of money, and go from there. Bro, but you posted long post. I am long. I just told you. I am long. Alright. Gonna end the stream. It's been 1 hour and 50 minutes. It's been a good one. We have 60 likes right now, I see, so that's much appreciated. If you didn't like yet, like the video, subscribe to my YouTube. We will do this every Tuesday from now on, so maybe I'll do one more. Maybe I'll do Thursdays again as well, but we'll see. For now it's once a week, okay? So I will see you guys next week. I will be in Discord, of course, if you have any questions, and on Twitter as always. So yeah, stay safe, right? Don't risk it all, and see you in the next one. Bye.